Okay, and we are recording. All right. Happy Sunday, everybody. I am Brian Kynes, the creator of the Tales of Ulran campaign setting and world. We use 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons to play our story, and all the awesome folks that joined me today are helping me write it one session at a time. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and start introductions. Over here to this side, Danny McGuffey will be playing the role of Bastille and Dehon Minkado. Did I pronounce that right? I believe I did. Okay. And on this side of me will be Sean. Sean will be playing the role of Shada'e and will also be helping out with Tamara and going through some of her mechanics until Kara is able to join us again. Her and Heather have been out for a few weeks, and I believe plan to be out for at least 2 more, trying to get the new job squared away and shit like that. So we'll try not to kill them while they're gone, or we'll do the best we can. Down below me on this side, Alex Howard, still getting to feel these new rules and things, but she's doing just fine, better than average, if I could say. She'll be playing Miasha, the Felidae Tigress Dancer. And on this side, y'all know who this is Jeremy Keaton. He will be playing Merc, which is piloting the celestial construct known as Brahmus. If you guys had a chance to catch the character focus Brahmus episode, that was cool, and he's really starting to figure out some more of these mechanics that we can get into using that character. Okay, folks, so a little bit of a catch up here because we missed last Sunday and there's a lot of shit going on. So let me kind of briefly go over things, and when I miss stuff, as always, you guys just jump in, slap my wrist, and tell me where I'm missing it. Okay? We had finally got on the airship, the Lylung, and we were headed to the south to go towards the Crescent Cradle on this hunt of types of sorts. And the landscape that we're going towards is a primitive, almost like the birthplace of Ulran itself. These people are ancient, based on Mayan, Aztec, Incan societies, and we're diving into a place where things haven't changed for hundreds, if not thousands of years, where dinosaurs still roam about, where there's ancient cults and things like that. Could be ruins there that we don't even know what we're getting into, but it's going to be interesting. As we are flying over Thornwood, the cursed part of the southern lands of Ulran, as we come out through the fog that almost densely covers that area, you guys get your first glimpse at the large Titan that has risen up from the Bay of Hope and is slowly making it over towards the eastern lands of Thunderhoof Valley. Okay. I describe this thing as being practically looks like a large earth elemental the size of a damn mountain. Has its own clouds, has its own trees growing and living upon as it slowly, almost, you can't even really recognize it with your eye, the way it moves across the landscape. From it and from around its side, a pack of these Perytons. How do you guys want me to pronounce that? Because I'm not very good at that. Peryton.
Oh, good name.
Peryton works? Oh, that'll work, yeah. So, these bloodthirsty Peryton have descended up on the airship. Aeolus, the ship captain, has cut the ship hard as the people there by him are starting to set up defenses. You're seeing the full crew of the Lylung in action as you've never seen them before. Medelia, which is the one that looks like Hermione's character, has put up an orb of protection over top of the group, while Oma stands there and begins to chant as her firebird is risen up into the sky, getting ready to take these things on in their own battle, in their own playing grounds. Okay, Drayden, the Lion Felidae, is down there pushing across on Dauntus, the little bombardier dwarf, trying to get him to these fucking cannons so we can take care of some of this stuff. Miasha has began to draw the attention of them by doing different acrobatic feats and doing this alluring dance, trying to get them to focus on her and less about everything else. But there are some things that are happening that you didn't expect. Shada'e, as she has her crossbow ready. Brahmus, what was it you were doing when we last left? What were you preparing?
Brahmus had went to the side of the ship and found rope that was tied off to the side, and he tied it to his left hand.
Okay, I remember that. And was there anything else other than that? We said you did find it. You did an investigation. You got a hold of some.
Yep, he's got it tied to his hand, and he's waiting on these things to start coming in close.
Okay, awesome. So, with that, let me go ahead and share screen and get a little bit of music up here and get this kind of set in motion here. Okay, got that. I've got share sound. Bam. Okay, so now you folks can see the screen, correct, with the battle map? Let's go ahead and change this. And this is what I like about the two screens. I can make you guys bigger over here on the side like this. And it's just nice to see the faces to the people in the videos. It adds a nice little element. If there's some part of the map that you can't see because of me widening this and making this work this way, just let me know and I can move it around. It's one of the luxuries we have here. I'm also going to go ahead and play some music here in the background. If this is too loud and drowns me out, please just let me know, okay? Can you guys hear the music at all? Okay, is it too loud or is it okay?
I can't hardly hear.
Okay. About right there? Okay. Just want to make sure it was nice for background, but it wasn't drowning anybody out. If it gets to be too much, I can always turn it down. Just let me know. Okay? So, let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got here. So we have Dahan over here right beside the ballista, which was really nice and convenient. I remember him saying, I'm going to move. No, wait. I'm going to stop there. I remember that being a big deal. As it is, it's pointing right at the belly of one of these things. Okay? We also have Brahmus over here with the rope tied off to himself. We have Miasha over here, and where I was creating that graphic, you get to see the spell before you've even used it. Alex is pretty good. Let me go ahead and minimize that now. But no, that was just me doing a little bit of design here. Let me go ahead and get that taken care of real quick. Now let's go ahead and do this. And she didn't say she was doing that yet. What the hell, Brian? Alright. We have Bastille up here in the crow's nest. We have Tamara over here with this Beacon of Hope spell cast around her in the area. Shada'e up in the crow's nest. Silwyn down below her getting ready to argue with Dauntus over who gets to fire the arcane cannon. I believe that was what we had discussed, correct? That shit was going to go down and we'll do some checks there to see who gets to shoot this thing off and who doesn't. Okay? Alright, so I have a couple things here I need to show you guys and some things that happens before we get started. As everybody's setting themselves up, Miasha, you notice a strange wind. As do you, Brahmus, as you've got that thing wrapped tight around your arm. And as you look around to see where it's coming from, as we are flying extraordinarily fast, banking back inland, so in case there's some kind of wreck, we're not over open water. And you notice something. You see Bastille has began to invoke some kind of spell. Now, many of you haven't seen Bastille use magical abilities before, and this seems strange. But as he does, something comes into view around his character. Okay? And mind you, for the crudeness of this, I'm going to try to do this to the best of my ability. As he starts to say words, and you can see the eyes and the runes seem to flash across his skin, as if being shot on by some kind of celestial projector, okay, you would see a void in space-time begin to form behind his character, almost like a gravity well or like some kind of small black hole begin to be created. Okay? Make sure I've got this right. Okay, yes. Okay, so as he does this, it begins to form around this Peryton down here. As this void begins to form back behind the creature. And as that happens, the creature itself begins to get sucked into this void. We've already played through this. I'm getting everyone else caught up. Okay? So as this creature starts to fade away and begins to become sucked into this void, what is everyone doing? I just want a really quick reaction from each one of you. I'll start with Sean first. As this happens and he sucked this creature into this void using this small, like, black hole-like thing, what is it that your character is doing, Shada'e?
Shada'e just makes a mental note of that ability and reminds herself to later write it down in her notebook.
Okay. Miasha, having seen this take place, this is new. This isn't any kind of trickery that you're familiar with. Being one of the more cunning people, you've been there and seen that. This is new. What is it you're doing or saying as he is about 25 foot up above you in the crow's nest conducting this?
She'll make a mental note of it and try to kind of avoid that area over there.
Good call. Right on. Merc, what are you thinking, buddy?
He is in full-on battle mode. He is watching that Peryton that's up above him like a hawk.
Nice, buddy.
Play on words.
Right. And we also decided that these were 30 foot off the deck of the ship. There's something I want to mention to you, Brahmus, while I have you here for just a moment. The shadow of this creature beside you. Something is not normal about this shadow. Do you remember me explaining this to you before? I'll go ahead and say this again just because Alex wasn't here the other day. You see what seem to be humanoid shapes swim and swirl within this shadow that lays beneath these things, as if their shadows are not natural. As when this fight began, Silouan, the avian Skylancer, shouted out in a cry of desperation, which is not very much. It's very rare that she says things out of desperation. And she screams out that she knows these creatures and to stay away from the shadows, using her free action to do that. As you look deep into it, it seems to be these shadowy figures that seem to dance and swim in this, almost like there's some kind of abyss for them. They don't seem happy. They seem tortured, and they seem feminine. Merc, when you look into that. Okay, just a mental note. Because she yelled that out, I wanted to remind Miasha and some of the others. Okay? What you do notice as you're taking that mental note, Miasha, is Brahmus is too busy thinking about flipping some pancakes here and shit, is that Danny all of a sudden seems as if he's struggling to keep his composure and balance. As you look on the front of this mast, the scarf that goes around his neck pulls clean from his face and begins to come out from him as if it's being sucked towards this void as well. All of a sudden, one of his daggers comes loose from his hand as he summons it back with a look of bewilderment on his face, because being the class he is, he can summon those to him. But it seems like it's not enough. You hear a piece of wood crack on the outer rim of the crow's nest as he turns and he's fighting to hold on, but he cannot, and his body is dragged towards the void along with this creature. You guys see him go flying towards that same hole. Okay? And as he does, do this real quick. Just a minute. He is sucked into this as well. And he fades out of view. And Tamara and Oma would be familiar with this sound, as this chrono jolt goes off of almost like a crack of thunder and a popping sound as they are both erased as if they were never there. You guys don't know where he went to. And Bast is gone. And so isn't this creature. Okay?
I'm glad
Danny-
Brahmus didn't see that. That would be disheartening as hell.
Yeah, that's not worth 2 fucks, is it? So, having said all that, I believe now, everyone, it is the long and painful thing of rolling some initiative. So I'd like for everyone to go around and give me a chance and tell me what your bonus to initiative is. I would like to start with Shada'e. What is your initiative bonus for using your crossbow, if that's what you plan to do, Sean? You are muted, sir.
Using my crossbow, it would be a plus 13, I think, to initiative.
Nice, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and go with Merc. What is Brahmus's initiative bonus? You're muted as well.
It's 8 plus whatever I'm planning to do.
Right, so
Unfortunately,
instance?
I don't know what I'm planning to do.
okay, I'll just put 8 and question mark.
No.
And we'll get to you, okay? Miasha, what is your initiative bonus? Do you know where to find it on there? It's going to be on the right-hand side of your character sheet down by your speed.
It'd be 7 plus, I guess, whatever I roll.
Yeah, so if you're going to do like something attack-wise, it'd be a dexterity on that, and if you're going to do something spell-wise, it'd be charisma.
Okay, so 7 plus 4 more, so 11.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, let me find you real quick here. Just 1 minute. Okay, 11. Okay. Got it. All right, and Danny, what is Dahan's bonus to initiative, buddy?
10.
10. Very cool. Very cool. All right, I think, and I don't know if you guys remember or not, so you can always roll dice. Like I say, those of you that are helping do Tamara and Silowin's characters, you can always just roll 1d10, and that will be their bonus to initiative, or a 1d8, depending. And we'll just see what it ends up being. I like settling things with rolls because I don't expect you to memorize everyone else's character sheets. Okay? So, let's go ahead and everyone roll some initiatives up. Let's go ahead and start with Sean. Go ahead and roll me your initiative and let me know what you got, and then roll Tamara's as well.
Okay, so for my initiative, I rolled a 8, so plus 13, that's a 21. 21.
Nice.
And then I think Tamara has a plus 9 to her initiative.
Nice.
So she gets a very, very, very solid 12.
And as you know, it's all in the delivery as an actor. 12
Right.
could be huge, just depending on how you deliver it. I get it.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and go with Miasha. Go ahead and roll your initiative and tell me what you get, please.
All right. 23.
23. That's a good number, man. All right, Danny. Let's go ahead and have you roll Dahan's.
14 total.
14.
Yeah, natural 4.
Nicely done, sir. Let's go ahead and Jeremy, go ahead and roll Mercs. You said, oh, it's 8 plus. You don't know. Okay, now let's go ahead and have you roll Silowin.
If I go to cast a spell, do I use my spell casting modifier to add to my initiative?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. So that'll be, what I say, 8, and then my casting modifier is 4.
12.
12. Okay. And I just rolled a 16, so 28.
Damn, sir. You got Wonder Woman's lasso there, giving you bonuses wrapped around your arm or something. Something's going on. Also, roll for Silhouette for me. Do you happen to know what her bonus to initiative is?
I got her pulled up. She's a 6 plus whatever she's going to do. And I think hers is going to be an attack, a thrown attack. So she gets her, are her lances dexterity or strength?
Dexterity.
Okay, so.
And call it a glaive or else she'll be mad at you.
Yeah. It says lance on her character sheet. That's all I know.
I get it. I get it.
It's a
buddy,
+4 on her dexterity, so it's a +10.
Okay, and what's your roll?
13, 26.
13 plus 10 is 23.
Yeah. I'll
Who
get
are
there.
you trying to
Give me a
fool?
Give me a
To
minute.
think that you're my DM on Wednesdays. That is just sad. All right.
I'm burnt out.
Just for the hell of it, Miasha, would you roll me a 1d20 and a 1d8 and tell me what you get?
You said a 1d20 and a 1d10?
1d8.
Oh, I got a 4 and a 7.
Okay. Oma's initiative is 11. Okay, let's go ahead and go to, we have Valdera. That would be Brian. 6 plus 8. 14. Damn it. I was hoping she'd go quicker than that. Let's go Drayden. See what he gets. Natural 20. Plus 11 for 31. Natural 20. The DMs broke the game. Alright, let's roll for some bad guys. Alright. Just a minute and I'll tell you the order, okay guys? Oh shit. Damn, natural 20 for one of those creatures. Damn. Damn. Almost there. And, okay. Alright, so let me get our lineup in order going on here, and you guys converse amongst yourselves if you want to. And once I get done putting 21 different things in order, we'll be ready to rock and roll. So the highest one I think was Drayden with a 31. He'll be first. And then Bastille was up there pretty high, but Jeremy had a 28. I think the 28 is second. So it'll be Drayden, then Merc, and then what else do we have? We said there was a 24 in here somewhere. Let me see. Oh, there's this. Ooh, that's good. There's that. Number 3. So we got a 24 there and a 24 here. But that does not work for now. So this is going to be number 4. Okay, let's go ahead and do a little bit more. What's the next one? We got 23, which is going to make this right here 5, 6. Almost done. Okay, Dahon, what's your dexterity?
It's 15, so it's a +2.
Okay. Okay. Almost got it. 8, 9. Then let's go ahead and go 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, and Shada'e had a 21, which puts you at, let me see here. Dun, 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 dun. We got this right here, which is 14.
What? Shada'e's not going first.
Yeah, no shit. It's weird. What'd you roll? Like a natural -5?
I rolled an 8.
It's all good. Shit happens, sir. Just a minute. Almost got it. Turns into 12. 12 turns into a 13. 13 turns into a 14. And 14 turns into a 15. And make sure that's everybody. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17, but 2 are out. That's why we got this. Okay. We're ready to rock and roll. So the order of assault here is going to be Drayden. My character's going to go first, followed by Merc, and then the third one is going to be one of the creatures. Okay, so let's go ahead and focus on my character. Okay, turn the volume up just a touch. All right. And like I say, if that volume gets too loud at any moment, you guys just let me know, okay? So, I had already stated before that Drayden is trying to help get Dauntus over to that arcane cannon. And he is trying to stay with him and defend him while he goes that direction. I'm going to stick with that initial plan. I'm going to forego my action, and I'm going to keep my reaction for punishing Counterstrike and some of the feats that I have as I escort him and try to shuttle bus his ass to go to that other end. Okay, so that's going to go ahead and take care of him. Let me go ahead and do this real quick. Let's go ahead and say that is 16. Okay, with that, let's say that when it comes to Dauntus's turn, which I didn't really add him into this, let's go ahead and move them now. I'm going to say he usually has 30 foot of movement. Just for the helmet, I'm going to roll 1d10 and see if I can help push him along a little bit. I can get 10 extra foot out of it, so we're going to move it 40. All right, so let me get a little bit of grid going here. Okay. And I'll move the grid in and out. I kind of like just not having it up the whole time, just when we really need it. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and go to Dauntus. There you are, little buddy. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. I'm going to put him there, and he also falls within the range of that spell now, Sean, which is going to be great. I didn't think about that for him shooting at 10. That'll be nice to have. All right, let's go ahead and move Drayden along with him. As soon as I can find him. Drayden, there you go, buddy. He's going to be right here, dragging him along. Okay, the next person to go is Merc. Merc, this creature is 30 foot up above you with the shadow, just whispering right outside of your reach. Okay, you have the rope wrapped around you. Now roll a perception check for me.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Roll me 3d20, and that's how long the rope is that you have tied to your arm. And make a note of that on your side, please.
$31 feet.
So it's 31 foot? Awesome, okay. So, what is it you would like to do on your turn, big guy?
All right. You said that the shadow underneath it is swirling black inkiness with people in it. And then this thing is sitting about 30 foot up in the air.
Yes, roughly that is what's going on.
Okay. I had an idea of a spell, but I didn't realize the spell took a minute to cast.
I mean,
But
that's lengthy, man. That's
right. I am, however, touch. I like that I've got to be up in their face with everything.
Right on. I get it. I like it. So what are you thinking about doing here, boss?
All right. I'm going to run it by you. You tell me if you're okay with it or not.
We'll see. I hate when it starts like that, but we'll see where it goes. Go ahead, buddy. What are you thinking?
All right. This thing is 30 foot up in the air.
It is.
I have 31 foot of rope.
You do.
I would like to do Misty Step 30 feet onto the back of this thing.
Okay.
And then I would like to use my action to grapple it with the rope.
Okay. I like it. And here's the thing. I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to let you try this, but I'm going to tell you about some of the problems that you're going to face. Okay? All right. Danny's loving this. If you have 31 foot of rope and you're wrapping around your arm, there goes 2 foot of it. Then when you get up there and you land on him and you're wanting to grapple him with the rope.
Now, basically with that action, the grapple, I'm hoping to kind of drive it down a little bit. Because, you know, the sheer weight of me.
I guarantee you are. Tell you what I'm going to do for you, buddy. Let's try this. Let's have you do an acrobatics check right now. And I'm going to tell you that the DC is sizable. You're looking at this and you're like spitting into your hands, or got some oil and you're just kind of looking. No, I got this. Go ahead and roll me an athletics check and let's see. I'm going to say you got enough rope. You're going to be able to do it.
How's a 26 sound?
Is that what you got? 26 works. Okay, wow. And when he jumps, when he leaves, and Missy steps up, the ship just kind of levels off. You know what I mean? It's like the ship's like, oh, thank God. So as you do this, Brahmus goes airborne. He's Rocket Man. Let's put you right there. That looks nice. You're just riding, just hanging out. First thing I want to do is any check that this creature has at this moment has disadvantage because you're a large mammal. But you're not even a mammal. You're just a large chunk of stuff. So it's going to have disadvantage on the grapple check versus you. But there are some other things to contend with here, as Danny will tell you. These things can reach on their back pretty good with those horns.
I was saying, is that horns on its head?
Oh yeah, they're antlers.
Okay, I was saying if they're antlers or horns, he would just wrap the rope around the horns.
Okay.
Because what's coming up next is going to be the fun part.
Well, here's the thing. In the order, this thing has to sink quite a bit for you to have enough slack to start doing that. So we have to do the initial check now. So I'm going to roll just a strength to see how this thing starts handling the extra weight of this large construct jumping on its back. All right?
Especially so unexpectedly.
Uh-huh. Okay, that's not good. So the creature begins to plummet. Which, good for you. That makes it where you have enough slack in the rope as this happens. So let me go ahead and move you both. This is pair number 4. We move him down a little bit. Let's go ahead and move him 5, 10, 15. And let's go ahead and move you, Brahmus, 5, 10, 15. You have 15 foot of slack in the rope now. You did an athletics check, so you are on it. You have gone onto it. Roll me another one, just to see do me a dexterity, just to see if you can. I mean, because it's happening fast.
Just a straight dexterity.
Yeah, I'm just curious as to what you get here. How this is going to say how well you're able to get the rope around it.
21.
He's rolling Danny McGuffey rolls tonight. Alex, take notes on this shit. This is how you roll high numbers right here. This is crazy. So, with that, once again, another reference to the Wonder Woman lasso. You're wrapping him up. You got the antlers wrapped. As you're doing that, the creature has the ability to do a counter strike as a reaction.
Okay.
23. Does that hit you?
Yes, it does.
But
Does not breach.
Does not breach you. Okay, so as you're grabbing on, you're trying. You know, you've seen the cattle things on ESPN where they get the cows down and try to wrap their legs really quick. You're on the
So
back.
keep in mind, as I've wrapped the slack around its horns, my arm is still tied to that rope.
Right on. I know. I get it. As it's thrashing its head back and forth, it does so, and you take some damage from that. That is going to be 9 points of slashing damage, which will just come off of your total armor points, and you'll take 9 non-lethal, as it did not breach through. And this will be to your exterior. Or the outer, as we call it in your character's case, okay?
Right.
Now, did you do the math before when you have the mass total of what Brahmus is, and you just take these numbers straight off from that total?
Yep.
It's a lot easier. And I would just put the 9 in there for non-lethal, and we'll divide it up later. Okay? So for everyone else, just take a running total of these numbers. We'll get to them after a bit when they matter. Hopefully later. Alright, so that was your bonus action to use the Misty Step.
Then I figured one of my attacks to do the grapple.
Well, yes, one attack to do the grapple. Also, you're able to do the wraparound, which leaves you, what, one more attack?
Yep, one more attack, and I still have my movement.
Okay, go ahead. What's up? What's going on, bud? What's on the menu?
I'm jumping off.
Okay, are you jumping off towards the ship?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 450 pounds of Brahmus is jumping about 15 foot straight down onto the side of the ship with a rope.
With bird in tow.
So what I'm oh god DMing, what a burden. What I'm seeing here is if you have 15 foot of slack, God, and satellites are linking up, you're going to touch the deck just about the same time that slack is going to pull on that bird.
Oh, he's basically all his end of the slack is up against those horns. So he is basically grab a hold of the horn and just jumping off. He's wanting to bring this thing down meteor dive style.
Okay, meteor dive, a little Tifa reference. I like it. Okay, so let me see how this works.
I would say it would be me jumping off to it versus it's like a strength check or something.
Yeah, roll a basic dex. I want to see how well you roll off this thing doing this. I want to see how clumsy this looks. If this is like Clark Griswold, like hanging off the gutter when he's doing Christmas lights,
I low-key hope he fails, so it's like he's just hanging there in front of it.
I know. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
I'll say, well, that's a 16 in dex.
Okay. Okay. You can just dump your shit off of this thing. As you do that, this thing needs to roll a strength check. The head's getting pulled sideways. Right? I don't know what sound they make, but I'm sure it's not a happy one when this shit's going on. Let's see.
I'm just imagining it sounds like a moose just to make myself happier about it.
Yeah, right on. Like Ace Ventura with the most annoying sound in the world sound. That's what you're getting. Oh god. That's cocked. Okay, no, it's bad. With a natural 5, the creature begins to plummet down towards the ship. Now, with a natural 5, it's going down there with you. Yeah, I need you to roll acrobatics with disadvantage to see how you land, Brahmus.
That's an 18 at disadvantage.
You fuck. The dice are. I mean, I am happy for you, but shit, dude. I hope your luck keeps up, sir. Okay, so I gotta do this because now I gotta bring the shadow to the character because it doesn't really have a shadow that far down from it anymore. Let's fix that real quick.
So is it still above the ship a little bit, or is it down on the
It's
deck?
on the deck now. It's on the
Is
deck.
there any effect that the shadow underneath it has on it now that it is touching it?
No, there is not. But well, I'll do a little explanation up to you. Okay, so I'm gonna say that you superhero land, but when you do, it rattles the ship to a degree. I need to do a let me see. Let's go check for Aeolus here to see how he's able to steer the boat as your weight and this creature's weight both just went crashing down on the side of the ship. I want to see how he's able to manage this. Let me do a okay, I know what to do. Okay, it's fine. As the ship sways and moves that direction, we'll get into the effect of that later on someone else's turn. Okay? Because it's going to have an effect on Miasha doing her dance and different people, because now you're on a cruise ship. It's getting ready to, you know. So keep that in mind for me, Alex, when we come to your turn, okay? When the ship's rocking, don't come knocking. Okay. So with that, the creature is prone on the deck of the ship. Okay? You have landed with a successful roll, but you also need to take... I'm going to give you 1d8 damage because you fell 15 foot, not just 10.
Okay.
It would have been 6 for every 10 foot. I'm going to roll 1d8 for how far you fell. 4 points of bludgeoning damage to your character. That would be to your exterior and to non-lethal to you as well, Jeremy, okay?
All right.
As it rocks inside your little castle there, man. You're holding on for dear life as you're inside that thing. It's rocking all around, giving Brahmus a hell of a ride. Let's see where Brahmus wants to land. You're back here. I'm going
I'd say I'd be about right in front of him because I'm still hanging on to those horns, holding him down to the deck.
Okay, let's do that then. I'm going to put you right here in front of him, okay?
Okay.
And the shadow is still cast upon you, unfortunately, at this spot. Okay? So with that, I need you to do me a wisdom saving throw.
That's
Pray the high rolls stay good.
29.
Fuck my goodness.
Proficiency in wisdom. What are you going to do?
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so here's what you see through Brahmus. Mind you, this is Merc looking through the visor and looking through Brahmus's eyes. And even though it's not particularly happening to you, as you see this creep up along him, you almost feel like the boogeyman's underneath the bed in there. You almost feel alone. And you can almost feel the darkness kind of creep in and the light seem to dim in this abstract world that you have inside of Brahmus. As you see these feminine, wraith-like images that swirl around this thing are whispering these backwards words, and the blackness reaches up as clawed fingers clawed him. You can hear it almost like fingernails on a chalkboard echo inside of Brahmus, but you're able to move his neck and maneuver and move your arms up away, and they're not able to find purchase on his body. They're trying to do something to you, but it didn't take. Okay? You take 2 points of necrotic damage. That goes straight to Merc.
Okay.
That bypasses the body, and you feel like it could have been much worse. Okay? You still have some movement, boss man. What are you wanting to do?
I'm going to start wailing on him. I got that great sword in the other hand.
Well, now you've used your attacks and stuff. Are you using steadfast assault?
Well, the grapple was one attack, right? Or did we consider the jump off another attack?
Yeah, I mean, the jump off, every kind of physical action, I don't mind breaking into steps like that. That would have been at least 2 attacks worth of stuff.
Okay, that's fine by me then.
Okay.
Now from there, I'm good.
Okay. Just holding tight, got the sucker down.
Yep.
Happy with the outcome.
Yep.
Good deal. Okay. Moving on. The next person to go, let's see, it's 1, 2. Let's see who number 3 is. Number 3 is going to be one of the bosses. This number 4, and then I'm going to say who's on deck. So, okay, number 6 is going to be just a minute. Just looking to make sure I got my order right. Whew, damn, that's good. 7 is Shada'e, and then okay. So after some of these creatures go, Shada'e, you're going to be the next one of the good guys to get to go. Then after that, it's going to be Miasha. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mark off who's already went here and who has not. Just a minute. Lots of people. Okay, Drayden has went.
Wait, didn't Miasha roll a 23 in her initiative?
Yes, she did.
She would go first because I rolled a 21.
Oh, yep, you're right. My bad. Got it. Thank you. Just saw that. Okay. Did I mention there's 18 people? It's all good. All right. So, with that, the next one to go is going to be this creature over here. Be number 3. Compared to number 1. Where are you at, my friend? Where's number 1 at? Okay. Number 1 sees this creature fall down to the deck, and you are holding it tight, Brahmus, to the deck of the ship. It sees Dahan over here with some kind of flaming aura around it, and the protective barrier up here as well. It is going to descend upon the protective barrier, which doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense, but if you knew what these creatures are and what they do, it would. Okay? So as this creature descends, go ahead and do this. It is going to dive down and scratch and claw at this shield and try to weaken it by a substantial amount. When it is doing this, it is going wild on this. This is an extraordinarily feral act. I'm talking to the point where it's a little bit chilling to watch it go down. Okay? As the creature descends and gets to that area, the shadow actually passes over top of Dahan's character. Dahan, I need you to do a wisdom saving throw.
$17.
17. You succeed. The exact same thing I explained to Jeremy. As you're looking at that ballista and you're like, hell yeah, dude, and you're getting ready to do your thing, it moves and swipes down quicker than you're able to turn to it. And as your hands are on the ballista, maybe trying to aim it, all of a sudden you feel these dark tendrils and these phantom-like, wraith-like fingers reaching up along with clawed hands trying to grab at you. You look down around your legs, and these things are trying to come up like necrotic vines that have a feminine, wraith-like quality to them. As you're able to successfully pass that check, you take 6 points of necrotic damage.
Real quick, because of that, where I got that extra bonus is I get to add my charisma to any save versus fear, phantasm, suggestion, charm, hold,
Yes.
anything like that, because of spear heart.
Yes.
So that's where I got the 17, because a little more bonus out of it.
Okay.
So spear heart will be, I guess, initiated.
Okay. And just for clarity, remind me of what that does again, Danny, please.
Amplified courage when others find fear. Add charisma modifier to any save versus fear, suggestion, charm, hold person, etc., or mind altering spell that has a wisdom saving throw.
Once you pass it, which you did.
You get 1 per short rest triggered. I have to read up on that a little more.
Okay.
But,
Well, you want me to just wait until we get to your turn and you can
But
investigate?
he gets an extra attack per round and plus half movement, and advantage on strength and charisma saves.
Okay, keep it under your belt then. So this has triggered something inside of you. We're trying to create some kind of necrotic effect mentally to you. Not only did you fight back from it, but now you have enhanced resolve versus things like this again. You see Dahan boister up. Like this just pissed him off. This is like smacking a Rottweiler that has a tire in its mouth. It's like, oh, okay, now I'm going to put you in my jaws. So as that happens, I'm going to rain down some attacks on this shield. Okay, 2 of those hit. Going to do some damage here. Okay, as that happens, and if you would, Danny, please take a note of this. Write down Medalia's shield.
Okay.
And write down a 100% beside that.
Mm-hmm.
And now, out beside that, I want you to write down 80%. It has knocked it down to 80%. The attacks from this creature upon it. As Medalia is struggling to hold it from the inside, Oma had a readied action with her Firebird up there in the air and is going to shoot out Firebolt. I believe Firebolt is 2 or 3. Let me look here, I'll find it.
We're thinking about Scorching Ray.
Scorching Ray, yes I am. Sorry. Almost to it. And there it is. Okay. So, 3 rays. Each one takes 2d6 if they will hit. Just for fun here, let's go ahead and say, Alex, would you roll me a 1d20 and a 1d10 3 times and tell me what you get on each one of those?
Alright, you want to do the 20s first?
The 1d20 and the 1d10 at the same time and tell me
Okay.
that total once.
Alright. 28.
A 28 hits. Go ahead and roll me 2d6 plus 4 points of damage.
6. 10 total.
10 total?
Yep.
Okay. As well, she's not here and you guys wouldn't know. Okay, roll the next total for me, a d20, a d10. Tell me what you get.
13.
13 just misses and shoots over top of the back of the creature. And you have one more try.
Alright. 4, 6.
And that misses as well. So once it gets hit once good with the scorching rays coming from the Firebird's mouth, the other 2 seem to miss, as if it has a decent ability to dodge things while in aerial combat. Okay? With that, let me go ahead and mark that down. Okay, number 4. Okay, now another one of the big bads is going to have a turn. This is going to be number 3. This one over here sees that these 2 are occupied. This one is over here attacking this protective barrier, and Danny's character is being occupied here by the shadows. It is going to soar over top of the ship and try to cast its shadow down on the group into the middle here. Okay? So now we have to figure out if this thing protects from this shadow going through it or not. I'm going to do some rolls to see if that happens. Okay? Let's go ahead and go to this one. As he flies into position here. That would affect everybody there. Now, the thing about this barrier is that this is a physically protective barrier. And this spell that it is casting, she has different ones she can do, but this one protects against physical. This is not a physical effect. So I'm going to give this spell disadvantage versus them, and we're going to see how this goes. Jeremy, if you would, roll me a 1d20 and a 1d10. Tell me what you get.
$21.
Okay? Okay. The barrier does not help so much with this. It is a dampened effect, but it still affects them. I'm going to roll some saves here and see how everyone inside is handling this. As you look over to your left, Dahan, and you can see that this shadow has reached the feet, and they are reaching up and they are fighting with Aeolus to keep control of the lodestar, which controls the ship. You can see Oma getting ready to try to cast some kind of spell to counter this. Caliban is swinging and fighting with these inside of this aura, as Medelia is still trying to hold the shield up that's there in place. Okay?
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Any of them that are within 10 feet of me will have +4 on their save.
Okay. 5, 10. That would just be Caliban. Okay, but that's good news. Thank you for letting me know. Okay. 15, 5, 15, 2. Okay. So, Caliban would have had a plus what?
+4.
Okay. With that, the only person to fail this was unfortunately Oma, out of those 4. Okay? As this happens, you can see that she stops moving, and there's a grayish hue that takes over her, as if some of the life essence from her is being sucked out, and this is almost like a nega Oma. You know what I mean? From like Scotty Pilgrim versus the World. It has that kind of effect over her, and she seems to hold herself as her breath shoots out coldness. It's almost like in the movies when there's a ghost in the room. Okay? She takes necrotic damage, and she is stunned. And that is going to take care of her turn whenever it comes up. As she is stunned, the bird that is in the sky dissipates. Let me go ahead and take care of that real quick. As soon as I can find Oma. There you are. Hello. And the bird vanishes. Okay. So, with that, that's just a creature shadow. Now the Peryton is going to descend and attack the top of this and help with trying to beat it back a little bit. And as we said before, that was number, which one is it here we're on? This would be number 3, I believe. Yes. Okay. As he's down here, he's going to descend upon it as well and do his attacks. No. No. Okay, just one good one. One good attack upon it. Okay, Danny, we are at 80% on that shield, right?
Yep.
Move that down to 70 now. Okay?
Alright.
And if you would please roll me a concentration check by Medelia, with disadvantage because of all the shit that's going on there around her feet. 1d20, 1d10.
See, 13 for disadvantage.
Okay, that's still enough at this point with this low level natural ability that it has. Well, it's not exact low level, but it's a natural thing for her to maintain the shield still. So we're good there. Okay? That is going to be this one's turn. It's done. Okay, now we're on to number 5. Let me find you, number 5. Where are you? Okay, number 5 would have been Silouan. So, Jeremy. Let me get us over here, buddy. The only one really close to Silouan at this moment is this one up here that seems to be the alpha of the group. Okay? And it is going to be quite a distance off. This thing is going to be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. At least 40 to 45 foot away off the side of the ship. Okay? You also have everyone else around you. And they seem to be descending and attacking on what's controlling the ship back here towards the rear end of this. What is it you would like to do with Silouan at this time?
What is the thrown range on her blade?
With her strength not being that good, but this being more of a finesse weapon, it's a little bit more meaty than a normal lance she'd be using. I'll give you roll a strength check for me just for the hell of it.
That's a 7.
Okay. You know what? I gotta say, you're going to be at least able just to reach the creature barely. If you used your movement and ran up about 10 more foot, you could throw that glaive at it. Now you can jump how far?
I think she can jump 40.
Okay, and that takes half of her movement, correct?
Yep.
So if you used enough of that to get to the front of the ship, you could probably jump down and bring a lance attack on this thing if you chose to. It's up to you.
Yeah, I think what she would do, so she's got the returning lance
Yes.
ability.
Yep.
Is she's gonna check this thing with everything she's got at it.
Okay. Go ahead, and with this, you have lore on this creature, and you know its tactics, and you fought it before. Well, you've also got weapon specialization and things like that as well, so you know what you can do. So I'm going to go ahead and move Silouan, like you're wanting me to do here. What direction are you thinking?
Move her up there by Shada'e, like where Shada'e's, but pretty much a square below Shada'e.
Okay. So we got
Shada'e's
5,
up on the crow's nest.
10, and you're going to be just below the crow's nest over here on this side of the ship.
Yep.
That's going to put you 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, roughly 30, 35 foot away from the creature at an angle, which is going to work for the range you're wanting.
All right.
Remember, you have a plus 1d4 from Tamara for being a freaking badass, and you also have your weapon specialization you can use. Go ahead and rain down some glaivish damage, sir.
All right. So that's 4. All right. So that's a dirty 20 to hit.
Okay. And that is number 5. That is the big bad. That does not hit. Dirty 20 does not hit the big bad. As it goes to fly that way, the thing seems to let a gust come up from underneath of its wings, and it shoots underneath, missing the tail feathers of the creature, as it is staring now intently at her.
Good deal. I think that's what you would want, is to get its attention. So,
Nice.
with
So
her,
give me a Silouan taunt. As a bard, tell me what Silouan's saying to this thing. Come on.
your horn's crooked, and I don't like your attitude.
That's right. That's right. Heather, I hope you're happy with that one, dude. That's good. And I like your attitude.
So
That fucking
with
sucks,
that,
Brian.
she's going to call her spear back to her, and she's going to start moving 30 foot the other direction towards the middle of the ship. She's hoping to have its attention to where it's going to come to her.
Okay. If that's the case, roll me a charisma check to see how amazing that taunt was, because you know things about this creature that nobody else does.
That would be an 18. Does the 1d4 from Tamara count on that as well?
Yes, sir. In this instance, I believe it would. just for flavor.
Dirty 20.
Okay. The creature is locked on you like a magnet. Okay. Silwyn is going to book, which is going to be hilarious because I can see Kara and Heather. Because remember, Kara was like patting her on the shoulder last episode. It's like, you got this. You can do this, you know. As she runs up there and she throws the lance and misses it, she's like, then she takes off running the other direction. Tamara's like, what the hell? Where did the bravery go?
I think she's just going to run by Tamara. Just follow my lead.
Okay, so 5, 10, 15, 20. This is a ledge here. So it's going to take 5 foot to get up it.
Okay.
And then 30, where it's going to put you about right here. Okay? All right. You're running that direction and you have this thing's attention. So I want to put that down. Focused on Silwyn. Okay. And that is going to be Silwyn's turn unless you have something else you'd like to do.
Look here. No, but good grief, I wish I had known this. I did not realize she had the Storm of Spears. That would have been nice.
Well, you know, better luck next time, buddy. Storm of Spears sounds like something that would have been really nice to use right there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well,
No, that's
you
okay.
know.
That's okay. I got this. I want him in the middle of the ship. That's all
Okay, I hope you do have this, okay? And what's great is, this thing is next.
Good.
Okay, well, it might be, but it might not be for Shada'e, because it's getting ready to run towards you, and the shadow's going to cross her path. So, let's go ahead and see what the enemies are doing here. But-da-dun-da-dun. As it descends and swoops down with a pretty decent flying speed. The other ones are medium to large creatures. This one's like a large, if not a little bit bigger. This is a large avian creature, okay? So, let's go ahead and have it swoop down here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 60. Okay, it's going to go ahead and use... It's going to do almost like a charge attack where it gets to do... It uses this action to go for a dash, but it gets one attack at the end of it, and it's going to try to focus on Silwyn. Okay? So it's going to... You're within range of it. And as it comes down through here, and it's doing this, it's going to pass over top of Shada'e and Valdera. And so the shadow, you gotta imagine the shadow would be falling on the ship like this. So I'm going to say it misses Tamara, but it gets those two, okay? And as it does, let me go ahead and shorten up its shadow here, because it's descending down on the deck of the ship. Okay, just a second, buddy. I like that better. Okay, and now it's in melee with you. It's going to do 2 talon attacks on you, and if one rolls a 20, you are naturally grappled by it. That's just one of the side effects of the creature. So,
Was that directed toward?
I'm sorry, what's that, bud?
Was the attack directed toward?
Silwyn. Yes, but you and Valdera get caught in the shadow, and we'll deal with that in just a minute once I see what these attacks do. Okay. Go ahead.
Does it pass within range of? Would I get an opportunity attack if it passes within range of my crossbow?
You know what? Let's do the curse first and see if that affects you. And if not, then we will. So let's hold on for a minute. What's going on there? It passed over Valdera. Let me do my wisdom check real quick and see what I get. And then you do the same. Roll yourself a wisdom saving throw. Okay. Ooh. Valdera does not pass. She rolls a natural 1. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me do this while you're kind of looking at your stuff. So Valdera is going to take...
Tamara's a cleric, right?
Tamara's a paladin.
Well, she'll get a plus charisma for saving throws as well.
Well, natural 1, dude.
Oh man.
Oh wait, hold on real quick. Let me just say something real quick. Looking up Beacon of Hope. Hold on.
You're all right. Go ahead, buddy. I hope you can help me, because Valdera's
Yeah.
my character, and Valdera just got smacked with this shit. And what's bad, Danny, and you know that if necrotic things start to
She has advantage on wisdom saving throws because of Beacon of Hope.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yes.
And with a natural 19 on the second one, she succeeds. You just fucking helped out a lot. Thanks, Sean.
Mhm.
I was trying to fuck me. Thanks. So, with that, Valdera finds the resolve to not let this overtake her. And you, Sean, go ahead and roll your wisdom saving throw with advantage. Tell me what you get.
20 total, so dirty 20.
Okay, just a minute. Okay, you just barely pass. What's going on here? As this shadow passes over top of you, it leaves traces of these reaching fingers and these open-mouthed necrotic versions of what seem to be tortured female souls just wipe across the crow's nest, reaching across your body. You're able to focus on what it is you're doing. You shake some of them loose from your crossbow. You only take 4 points of necrotic damage, and as a chill seems to wash over you but then subsides almost as quickly as it came on. You're okay for the time being. Make sure everyone's keeping track of their own hit points as well, okay? Alright. With that, knowing that it didn't affect you, does that change anything that now that it's attacking Silouan? Was there something you wish to do, Sean?
If
your range.
if it's like if I can take an opportunity attack to shoot it with Duncan, my crossbow.
I will allow it, yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So let me just roll an attack. Was a dirty 20 hit.
It misses.
Okay.
But do you have weapon specialization?
I do. I forgot about that. Let me add a D4 to that. Right?
Just
It's
one.
D4. Yeah. A D4 to that.
Or D6 once per day.
Oh, it's a D6.
Once per day.
Once per day.
Or D4
Okay.
per turn.
Oh yeah, I'll just do the D4. So it makes it a 21.
You know what? Here's the thing. It is so focused on Silouan that it's not really trying to dodge or evade what you're up to. And with our armor classes and the way we do it, we always assume that it's dodging and blocking. So with it not being focused on you and diving in towards her, I'm going to go ahead and allow that 21 to hit.
Okay.
You will be hitting the undercarriage as it swoops over top of you. I'm willing to do that for theatrics.
Okay, and I made mention in the last one that I loaded with one of my savage bolts.
Yes,
so,
sir. I remember this.
So I do. So the bolt itself does the damage, and then additional 1d4 per turn, right?
Correct.
So that gets a 1d6 plus 8, so for a total of 13 on the hit.
And that's piercing, correct?
Yes, 13 piercing damage.
Okay. That actually, it hits, and it does enough to it with the piercing damage, because piercing does damage and a half versus stuff. Yeah, actually, you see it sink in and find purchase. Okay, so that damage goes into it damn near like a breaching attack. Okay. And what is this additional effect?
So every turn that it's in, it does an additional 1d4 bleeding. So
okay. I would like for
1d4.
you to remind me of that when it comes time, okay? Because I'm juggling quite a bit.
No worries.
All right, thank you, buddy. All right, with that, mostly undeterred. This is the big bad. Undeterred, whatever you want to call it. It goes down with 2 attacks versus Silwan. Okay, the first one comes down to grab onto Silwan and misses, but the second one does and reaches across and scrapes at the scales across the armor that she's made, leaving some of the red ones rain down the floor like dropped coins. The damage from this breaching attack.
She would like to use her elusive step.
Okay, so that is a reaction. And what does that do? Half the damage?
You may use your reaction to completely elude an attack that would hit you, enable you to hone in on your elusive potential by adding a 1d10 roll to your armor class primary.
Okay, so go ahead and add 1d10 by using your reaction. We'll see if I was able to hit you still.
It's a +5.
That did not. That means now it wasn't a breaching attack, it was just a regular attack.
Yeah, that puts her armor class primary at 30.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was able to hit her but not breach her. That changes things. Thank you, Jeremy. All right, so. $17 points of damage, and her armor points would take that, and I've got that here, I believe. I don't know if you have that to be able to keep track of. But I'm just going to go ahead and make mention that she took 17 to her AP, and that's 17 non-lethal. And I would like for you to roll me a strength saving throw to be stopped from being knocked prone from the claw attack.
16 + 1, so 17.
Okay. You succeed. He rolled really bad on that attack. So normally you would have been knocked back 10 to 15 foot. But she's actually able to turn around, and when you summon that lance back to you, Jeremy, she pins it into the deck boards of the floor and just takes the hit. As you hear it screech across those scales, some of them fall off but didn't get through. But you can see a tussle of hair fall out from her helmet as it did hurt her, but she was able to hold her ground against the attack.
You said it was 17 damage?
Yes. It's going to use a legendary action. And it is going to do, just 1 second. I will tell you what happens, and then it will be, I believe, Miasha's turn. Okay, let me see here. Okay. Hold on for this minute. Okay, it can choose to up to 3 creatures within 60 foot of it can see. Each creature must see. Okay. Alright. As it does this, you see the creature's head rear back as it cries out a loud feral cry, and all of a sudden the images inside of that shadow seem to grow out in swarm as the shadow for just a brief moment fluctuates to an additional 5 foot on each edge. I need everybody in that area again to do another wisdom saving throw. Now, since
as a reminder, with advantage.
Yes. Go ahead. Let's see. Jeremy, do that for Silwan, please. Okay. Valdera passes. This one's going to catch Tamara, so you want to roll for Tamara on this one, Sean. The shadow's not on Shada'e anymore. Now you're up above it, because it swooped down to get her. Okay? But you want to roll one for Tamara. What'd you get?
Tamara rolled a 19.
Okay. So
Silwan got a 15.
okay. Silwan fails.
Oh, hold on. How close is she to Tamara?
Within like 5 or so foot. They're close, dude.
Alright, so what do you remember what Tamara's charisma bonus is?
I think it's 4.
So I was thinking it was 4 or 5. So it'll be that plus 4 or 5.
Now that charisma bonus goes on wisdom saves too?
It goes on all saving throws.
Okay, that takes it to a 19. Okay.
Yeah.
19 just passes. I mean just passes, sir. Okay. So she takes, even passing, she takes 9 points of necrotic damage. Okay, where are you at? Someone right here. And what was the hit she took last time, Jeremy, before that?
17 damage.
17, okay, yeah. But that was the armor points. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this one's necrotic 9, which is inside. And you have disadvantage on your first action on your next turn, even if you pass this as a legendary action. Okay? All right, now it is going to be Miasha's turn. Miasha,
Yes.
you are in the middle of all this chaos. It's funny. It's like everybody is either on the right or left of you. You're seeing shit go down. Feathers are flying everywhere on this ship. You've been on a lot of different ship rides. You've been the gambler, the juggler, the entertainment, but this one is not as fun as most of those. You see your friends that you're trying to collect. You're trying to be helpful for one of the first times in your life and be outgoing, but you're seeing that peril is literally everywhere. What is it you would like to do on your turn?
What she's gonna do is, how many of those birds to her right can she get within a 30-foot cube?
All of them if placed correctly. Okay. Hey, Jeremy, let me DM here, buddy. Okay. I'll do the 30. I'm like, Jeremy's like, just say all of them, Brian. Come on, buddy.
Help us out, man.
She's going to cast Hypnotic Pattern. Which
now, are you doing this as through your dance move, or are you doing this as just a spell?
Just doing it as a spell.
Okay, she has a dance move. If they fail, can cause it too. But that's for another day. So, what's the range on that? You can cast it
at 120 feet.
Oh shit! You got this all day.
Oh yeah, she's got that. I was doing some counting earlier.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead. You say it's a something foot cube.
It's a 30-foot cube within range. The pattern appears for a moment and vanishes. Each creature in the area who sees the pattern must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature becomes charmed for the duration of the spell, which is 1 minute. While they are charmed by the spell, the creature is incapacitated and has a speed of 0.
No shit.
It ends if it takes damage or if someone uses an action to shake the creature out of its state.
What if I were to make a graphic displaying this spell? What color would you like it to be?
Green.
Got it. Brian can do green. We can do green. All right, let me go ahead and make this up here real quick. You said this is You said a 30 by 30 cube?
Yes.
Jesus, we're just going to paint the whole ship, everybody.
Got to see a Grateful Dead concert go off.
Yeah, don't eat the brown ones. Okay, let's see here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I believe that's pretty close. All right, now let's move said shape. Are we happy with that?
Yes.
By God, I am too. People are going to see this video and they're going to be like, that is some, what the fuck is going on right there, dude? She's just casting paint. She's casting paint. So, tell me what their saving throw is for this.
Let's see.
You roll 1d20, and remember in our game, spells can be deadly, so you don't have just a basic 8, and then you add your shit to it. You're rolling a 1d20 plus your
30.
DC's 30?
Yes. It's her charisma plus her proficiency plus the skill points that she used for a potent spell.
Yes.
So 30.
Yes, you must have bought your dice from the same place that Jeremy got his. I'm giving you shit. Okay, so number 4, what do you got? Swing and a miss. Number 3, what do you got? This can affect multiple creatures in the area?
Yes.
My God, swing and a miss. Swing and a miss. They all three failed. So what exactly are they going through right now?
They are charmed and they cannot move. Their speed is now 0.
Okay, so for theatrics, understand that when Miasha casts these spells, she dances in a way, and that's what conjures him into being. So when you are performing this spell, it's not like a wizard that holds their hand up. You're actually almost doing like a ritualistic kind of flamboyant dance to create this hypnotic pattern effect as it is working in this direction, okay?
Yes.
So as she is doing that, everyone underneath there in that aura of protection, especially your character, Dahan, would see bewilderment come over top of the eyes of these creatures as they are focused solely on her, but they are not attacking her. Okay? So their movement's 0 and they're charmed. Do you get to make some kind of suggestion as to what they do on this turn?
It does not say. It just says they're charmed.
Let's look at this.
Let me see.
Damn hypnotic pattern.
No, she doesn't get to make a suggestion. They just become incapacitated and can't move.
Yeah.
A whole lot of pretty colors.
Okay. Each creature in the area who sees the pattern must make wisdom. Okay, the creature becomes charmed for duration 0. If it takes any damage, or if someone else uses an action to shake the creature out of its stupor. So it's fragile, but it's very effective in stopping them for the time being. Now
Yeah.
that was your major action to use. You have a bonus, you have reactions, and you have movement. Miasha, what is
I got
it
a
you-
question for a call from a DM.
With that
Since
grin on your
it's-
face, yes, I will answer your question,
Since
Jeremy.
me and that one are eye level with each other, do you think that would affect me?
We're going to roll for it. Because Miasha's quite alluring. 1 through 10, you focus on the creature. 11 through 20, you're looking through your rearview mirror. And Merc's drooling too. We ready?
Yep.
That's a 13. What is that?
30?
That is a wisdom saving throw.
God.
A natural 20.
So you turn around and you're like, huh? Oh, yeah.
Ah,
Okay.
I can dig it.
That's nice, dude. That's nice. High level games. All right. So green means go. Miasha, almost hurt your feelings that he wasn't as affected as the bad guys, but it's a good thing. What is it that you would like to do for the rest of your turn here, young lady? As if that wasn't effective enough.
Can she use her bonus action to let the others know? Say something like,
You can use a free action for that. When you're shouting shit, I give you
Yeah.
a free action once a turn to be like, hey, fuck, you know. Just go ahead.
they've got their eyes on me. Do what you need to do now.
Hey, roll a charisma check. I want to see how well this comes across.
All right. Would it be like performance, or is it just straight charisma?
Persuasion.
Persuasion?
Yep.
Let's see. I rolled a 7, so naturally it's 11. I don't know if there's anything in here.
She has a lot on persuasion
She
and
has-
things like that.
Yeah, she's got a lot of different sheets that I'm going through.
So
at the moment.
she's at least going to have her proficiency bonus and her charisma bonus plus 2.
15 right now.
Okay, so 15 plus 7.
Oh, no. 8 plus 7 for
Okay.
her charisma and her proficiency.
Okay, with 15, 10 being average, 15 being like, listen here, that projects your point across. Those of you make note of that she has said she has these 3 focused on her. Danny, And Brahmus, you've seen her character do this before. When she starts up a particular dance and enthralls people into watching her, almost as if it's a hypnotic pattern. Hint, hint, wink, wink. So she's got these right now by the testicles. Okay. What else? You've used a free action. You've used your major action. You like where she's at now, or do you want to move around?
She'll move down a little bit closer towards the middle of the ship.
Okay. 10. There's 10 foot.
And that'll be good. That's her turn.
Alrighty. Miasha's done. Guess who's next? It's Shada'e. And then after Shada'e, we're gonna have Dahan. Okay, and after Dahan's, we'll take a break and come back. Okay, so Shada'e, what you thinking?
Shada'e will bonus action insightful fighting on the main Teryon. Whatever.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll it. Let me see what you get.
So it's a contested roll. It's that creature's deception versus my insight.
Okay. 19 on my side.
22 on my side.
It sounds like you won.
Yeah. So with that, Shada'e, for at least the next minute or until I change targets, has sneak attack on that creature always.
I like it, buddy. Which makes
Or at least
sense considering what's going on.
Okay,
They're
so she's
really
gonna
playing into it.
she's gonna load another savage bolt and fire it.
Okay, please keep track of your ammunition and
Of
what
course.
you're using. And now this thing on its next turn does an additional 1d4 bleeding, but not until its next turn.
Right.
Okay, you're shooting the big bad in the back here, correct?
Yeah.
You have advantage on this attack because it is not paying attention to you.
Okay, so that is a 25 to hit.
25 hits and breaches just because it's not paying attention to you.
So with that, I get my regular damage plus my sneak attack damage.
Yes.
So hold on one
If you
moment.
want to use weapon specialization and try to turn that into a 20, now would be the time.
No, it's fine. So I do the regular damage plus $2d6. So
Danny's deep reading into his shit there. He's like, okay, what am I going to
so
try to do?
1d, so 3d6 plus 8. 6 plus 8 and weapon special, which is a d4. So that's that's a 1d6 plus weapon specialist, which is a d4. So that's 5 plus sneak attack, which is 2d6, which is an additional, which is 5 each, so it's 10.
That's awesome.
So 15 plus an additional 8 for all my modifiers. That gives me a total of 23 to hit. 23 damage.
Nice, buddy. That's a nice chunk of damage. It's paying attention to you now. 23 was enough to say hello. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that. 23. Okay, and now on its turn, it could possibly be taking 2d4 bleeding damage, correct? Keep track of that. That is one shot.
Yeah, and I think, because I already used my bonus action to insightful fight, so I think I can only get one more shot off, and that's about it.
Correct, I believe so.
Okay, so I will shoot it one more time with just a regular bolt that I have.
Okay.
So that is a 20 to hit, not natural.
Okay, 20 does not hit. That misses.
Okay.
Okay, so as it is noticing you now, it hunkers down and spins halfway back towards you to a degree. You still have wisdom on. You can find its weaknesses because you've done that.
Yeah.
But it is now focused on you and is able to smack the arrow glancing off to the side of its feathers, and it does not find purchase.
Okay.
What kind of feats you got? What else you got in mind, or you just gonna hang tight?
That's my action. That's my turn.
All right. Shada'e is going to be done right there. Dahan, Talk to me, buddy. What are you thinking?
All right. So the first thing I'm going to do, can you zoom in where I can look at them real good?
Hey, yeah, maybe if I wasn't paying attention to other shit. No, you just tell me from there. You don't need to see it.
All right.
There.
So,
Mine the green. Alex picked a color.
all right, I'm going to use a flaming gale strike first.
Of course you are.
And I'm going to strike at number 1, trying to push it in the direction of 3 and 4. Your character creates a phoenix-like burst of flame infused with wind that strikes a vengeful tempest. Basically, they get a save, strength save, and helps if you roll a 20 and not a d12. That was kind of messed up.
Yep.
All right.
I can see that.
Do I get advantage on this since they're charmed?
Yes.
Awesome. Better. 17 plus.
Now, which one are you trying to hit?
Number 1 right there.
Okay, right beside you. Okay.
17 plus 11. That is 28.
28 hits and breaches.
That's also the same thing. It has to make a saving throw. Let me see how much mana that costs me. 12.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so how much was that damage minus to number 1?
Damage will be... It is 3d8, 48 total damage.
Okay.
So that is... And I can re-roll ones once per turn because of what happened to him. So that's 5 and 8 is 13, 17, 22 points of fire and wind. Additionally, you push the target up to 15 plus feet plus your mana roll, which was 12. So that's 27 feet that it pushes it in the direction of 3. If it contacts something and can't be pushed, it takes 1d6 bludgeoning damage for every 5 feet it can't be moved.
Okay, so are you pushing it? What direction are you wanting to push it, boss?
Into number 3.
Okay. So, as you do this, number 1 is knocked, smacks into another 3. Now they are both uncharmed.
It would also... It's supposed to knock it prone, but I don't know how that's going to actually work with a creature that's in the air that I blew into another creature, but...
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a little bit of extra damage, and it ran into the creature there after it went 10 foot. Do you have an idea? Yeah. 1d6 per 10?
1d6 per 5 is what it says.
Okay, because it's a stronger gust, it's not a fall. Got it. Okay, so that's 7 points there. Okay, plus what you just did. Okay, and I'm going to roll a throw for them, a dexterities, to see if they're able to maintain their flight. Okay, that guy definitely does. The one you hit initially definitely does. The other one does not. So the other one here, number 3, actually falls and is laying on top of the shield now with its wings flapped over the side of it, kind of obstructing the view of everybody that's inside of that. Okay, but what's good about that is that means the shadow of number 1 that you hit doesn't fall on top of it. It almost works as a blanket. Okay, and your number 1, let me go ahead and move it up here so you can see it better. There's number 1, and it is simply, oh, wrong one, sorry. It is simply moved back a degree, and that shadow is now laying on top of this one, which is laid out over top of this shield. It's a really neat scene here if you can envision it. I know the map helps, but I can't do that justice. You know what I'm saying? But it's able to maintain its...
All right, and
go ahead.
That is actually a full action to do that, but I'm going to use action surge, and
yes,
I'm going to spin. I'm going to spin the ballista, and Dahan gets a... Oh, shoot. Well, I should have added that in. I forgot he gets a +2 to anything he does on the ship.
Right.
Stupid. Things you remember. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire one of the ballista bolts that I have the stats on that we made on the ship. The explosive ballista bolts that Dantas made.
Yes. Now, how do you know what's loaded in that and what is not?
Because Dahan is the one that supervised this, and if we loaded that big cannon for all that, we wouldn't have loaded anything light.
Okay. Well, just because I have to give it roll a chance, because we haven't even made it off the main continent yet and been ready for this, I'll give you a 50-50 chance. So 1 through 10, it's going to be regular ammo, and 11 through 20, it can be loaded with that other stuff, okay?
Okay.
It's 17. It's got the good shit. You're packing the good stuff, Danny. So do you want me to graphically turn that ballista, or you just want to close your eyes and just imagine it?
Oh, just imagine.
Okay, thanks, man.
19. Let me look real quick. You might have
You know
critical
what?
threat.
I am going to change it because I can. There you go. Blah. Okay. Go ahead, and which one are you aiming for? The one laying on top of the shield, or the one that you push back, or even that one over there on the side that is the only one?
The one that I've already made damage to.
Okay, so you're going at number 1. It's back here behind now. Okay.
Yes.
So you're shooting this thing.
Yes, he does have critical threat. That 19 is critical. Oh.
That's true.
Whew.
Okay. So, the 19 is a critical hit with this on here, which you're proficient with using the ballistas and weapons on the Lylone. Go ahead and tell me what your total is. What your total attack was.
All right. So the normal damage from the ballista itself is 2d12, so there's 11 and 3, that's 14.
Well,
and the explosive damage from the lightning blast powder is 10d6.
Okay,
it doesn't have a radius.
What was the attack?
So I don't know how big.
It was natural 20?
Natural 19, but I have critical threat.
Plus your bonuses made it what?
Oh, that would be 11 plus 2 for being on the ship. That's
33?
19, 30, yeah.
Okay, that's what I need to know. Okay, so you did your 2d12s. Now you're doing your 10d6s for the lightning powder in it.
Yep.
Okay. Ouch. I wish I had the background song Happy Trails. I could play that
28.
background music now. 28 points of damage?
Yep.
Out of 10d6 and 2d12?
Oh, the 2d12, I didn't add that. It's 28 plus 14.
Okay.
So that's
42.
52.
Right?
Yeah, 42.
Okay. With that, the creature is bloodied and a little bit more, as you have hurt the shit out of this thing.
But that was critical because I have critical threat.
Which means it's double that, isn't it?
Yeah.
You shit. Paint me a picture.
It looks like a fireworks of feathers and blood. Lightning.
Sounds like something you'd... I swear to God, when I looked up and seen it, it was nothing more than fireworks of flaming blood. I like it.
How do you shoot women and children? You just don't lead them as far.
That's terrible.
Right out of Full Metal Jacket.
Number 1 vanishes back to the Feywild, as it is no longer relevant, as Danny just hit it with his boomstick. So, as feathers rain down on top of the shield here, as this Peryton is staring down, snapping its beak against the physical form of this thing, as Aeolus looks up and I'm sure is saying something sarcastic from underneath here. Let's go ahead and go to Dahan took his turn. Was there anything else you were doing on your turn, Dahan?
No.
I want you to roll me a Constitution check to keep the Phoenix active while you're using the ballista.
It's off.
What's that?
I'd say it's off. I got a natural 4.
Yeah, natural 4 is not good. But that's okay. You're the only person I've seen pout after they killed one of the bad guys. So, you know, it'll be alright, buddy. You're alright. I'd say you came out on top here. Let's go ahead and dampen these flames a little bit. Okay, oh look, he's just normal. Aww. Okay, so with that, it's going to be Valdera's turn. I will do that and then we'll go on our break. Okay, everyone? Okay, Valdera. DMs that play D&D, how dare they? Okay, so remind me, everybody, this guy was down here attacking Silouan. Okay, and then Shada'e had got its attention. I had survived the curse, and I don't want to be in the shadow of this creature. I'd say it's about 5 foot above Valdera, attacking down on Silouan, and then it started to turn towards Shada'e. I'm just going to roll something to see if it turned my way or the opposite way. It turned my way. I want to use my reaction as it was turning within melee range of my blade. I'm going to make an attack. Punishing counter-strike 15. That hits, but it does not breach. Okay.
Don't forget the plus 1d4.
Oh, it does breach. Thank you. Hell yes. Even a 1 would have done it. That's nice, buddy. Okay. So, shit. As it turns, Shada'e, you can see Valdera take that blade and almost put it way over top of her head, just do a topwards cleave with almost a little bit of a hop onto it, and puts a decent sized cut up along the side of this thing's arm. That's just the reaction for when it turned by her. On her turn, you're going to see her call up on some kind of darkened energy. Okay? As she does this, you would see Tamara kind of gasp in this moment. When she gets around necrotic spells, it triggers this in her. And when she does, she comes down with a blow that has a tinge of necrotic energy to it. Oh, yeah. And I'm going to use my weapon specialization on this one. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. We need a 3. 4 will work. That makes her 20. As she bounds up and she comes down with this slash, you can almost see. I'm trying to decide how I want to describe this maneuver. When her blade goes down from this jumping chop at the underbelly of this creature, there is a shadow image of the strike that kind of trails off into vapor with a deep violet hue to it. As she lands, there is an echo effect to her, and you can see her eyes illuminate, deluminate with a little bit of darkness swelling around them, as her hair seems more rigid than it did before. When she lands on the bell of the ship, and 2 of these, just a minute. 43 points of damage. 43 points of slashing and necrotic damage thrown in there all together. And as that does, this creature has to do a saving throw, which it fails. All strength-based attacks made by this creature, as long as I have concentration on or the next minute, are only half damage. Okay? As she has imperiled this creature with this strike. I'm going to write down here imperiled. Okay. And with that, does anybody have anything else before we go ahead and take our break for the night? Anybody got anything? Okay, let me go ahead and do this real quick. Alright, let me see here. I don't want to pause there. I want to... Just a minute, sorry, just looking at this. I want to pause recording. Last time I did this, I accidentally stopped the recording, and I don't want to do that. I want to make sure I'm just pausing it. Just a minute here. As soon as I can figure it out again, let's stop share for just a minute. Okay. All right. And we'll go ahead and fill up and unfill up and all those fun things that you do when you're playing D&D, and we'll be back here in just about 10-15 minutes. Okay?
I'm going to be on my other device for the second half of this.
That'll work.
For everybody,
Okay.
real quick, now that we're not recording.
Okay. And recording is in progress. Can you guys hear that when it does that?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you could. Okay, I wasn't sure. All right. Danny's like, before we left, he's like, since we're not recording now, and then it shut off, and shit, it's going to be good. It's going to be good in editing. It's going to be good shit. So.
Anybody watching's going to be like, what did he say?
What did he do? So let me go ahead and share screen again. Okay, there we go. So, with that, Valdera took her turn, and now we're going to start looking at some of the bad guys we're going to start going. Let's go ahead and go over here to number 4. Number 4. This is the one that is charmed and incapacitated and has no action at the current moment, so we just pretty much get to skip over top of that one, correct?
Yep.
All right, well done. See, Alex is just trying to get this shit rolling. So she's like, if I can just stun him, we can get going. So let's go ahead and do that. Number 4, turn's done. Quickest turn yet. All right, now we're going on to number 12. Let me find who this is again real quick. That is Tamara. Sean, what would the baddest fucking paladin this side of the northern shores want to do right now, sir?
Is she within 10 feet of the Alpha Terran?
I will show you. Oh yeah. Well, here's the thing. Yes.
Okay.
Down to attack.
Okay.
That brought it within that many feet of you. Now, I want you to remember also, roll a perception check for Tamara, please.
Okay. It's 11.
Okay. You are wrapped up in this. You see Valdera getting her shots on this thing and just came down with a devastating attack on it, and you would be wanting to show her up because those two are like sisters. They like to compete. So that's with that kind of perception check, you're not focusing too much on what's going on. You're focusing on what you want to do.
Okay, so I know that her flail has a reach of 10 feet, so I'd like to get within 10 feet of this Terran.
Okay, you are there.
And I want to pump a 3rd level Divine Smite.
You sure as hell can, sir. So,
Um,
let's go ahead and get that going here. Tamara. So, Tamara, and is where you're at, is that location okay for you, or do you want to move a little bit?
yeah,
You're
as
in.
long as she's standing, yeah.
You are. She's like, hello, I'm over here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're definitely
For now,
there.
yeah.
And when you do that,
Mhm.
this aura comes up around your character of holy light for you doing your divine smite.
Mhm. And
Okay.
actually, as a bonus action, she's going to activate her Searing Smite as well.
Okay. Go ahead. So tell me what this is going to look like. We're talking 3d8 plus what?
So it's 3d8 plus a 1d6 fire damage.
And then your flail does a 1d8 on top of that.
Oh, yeah, so that's 48 total with the 1d6 fire.
Okay. All you've got to do is hit it.
Okay, and she gets a, with her flail, she gets plus 12 to attack, so. So that's a 24 total to hit.
Okay, since you are flanking the creature with Siloan stuff, go ahead and roll with advantage on that.
Okay.
And did you add your 1d4?
No, I didn't.
Dude, boy, Tamara has weapon specialist too.
Yeah.
So that makes it a 26.
That hits, but it does not breach, as this thing is
let me-
well armored with thick feathers all over
Okay,
the
let me-
entirety of its body.
Let me roll one more time, see if I can breach.
Okay.
No, I'll take the 26. Thank you.
Okay. It's like, nope, I like that one. Okay, so, and also, Alex, as you'll notice, when he's coming down making contact with this, not breaching, you understand what that means, correct? Okay. All right, Sean, go ahead and roll this nice chunk of damage, and let me know what it is you get.
Mm-hmm. So the dice rolled 17 plus your bonus of damage, which is 7, which comes out to 24 points of damage.
24 points of damage. Now, this creature seems to be bloody. Now, that was your first attack. Okay, you've used your bonus action. You've used your free action to add a divine smite to it. Make sure to take off your magic points from your total. You have, I think, another attack if you would want to use it. But there's something that happens instantaneously when this creature is bloody. Okay?
Okay.
It reaches out and it makes out this feral cry. Okay? As this thing happens, I need everyone that is within 10 foot of one of these creatures to make a wisdom saving throw. And I'm going to see if this snaps the charmed one out of it or not. Luckily it does not. But everybody else that's within so many feet of this, so that's going to be Dahan. That's going to be, Miasha would be exempt from this. It's going to be Merc. This one's still down here, hasn't came into the battle yet. That's going to be Shada'e. It's going to, since you're right there on top, that's going to be close. Valdera would have to. Siloan would have to. Yeah, the ones I mentioned there are going to go ahead and have to do wisdom saving throws. We'll start with Shawnee. I'm going to roll a check here to see if you're within the range or not. You may not be.
Just as a reminder, Valdera, Siloan, and Tamira have advantage, and myself have advantage.
Okay. All right. So, for you, tell me what your wisdom saving throw roll was.
For Shada'e?
Yes.
22.
22 succeeds. You only suffer 5 points of psychic damage. Okay? Now go ahead and roll for Tamara. And let me know what that total is.
That is a 18.
Okay, that fails. Tamara is going to take 13 points of psychic damage, and she will have disadvantage on her next action. She is cursed. Okay, I'll roll for Valdera. Valdera was successful. She only takes 6 points of psychic damage. Okay, and let's go ahead. Brahmus, roll me yours. Wisdom.
Promise is a 24.
24 passes. You only take 2 points of psychic damage. Dahan, roll for me.
A dirty 20.
That does not succeed. Did you do with advantage because you've already passed this thing like this before?
No.
Or do you have that ability up?
That's a dirty 21.
That just succeeds. Okay. You only take, well, still 8 points of psychic damage.
Is it psychic or necrotic?
It's psychic.
Okay.
Okay. And that takes care of that. So out of everyone passed and doesn't have the longer effects of this, correct?
Right.
That's lucky, everyone. Count your fucking stars right now. I'm just telling you. Okay, and with that, Tamara, go ahead and finish the rest of your turn.
Tamara is going to. She's going to. I think she's going to hold her position there. Yeah.
Okay.
If it starts looking dire on the other side, she's going to move the beacon over that way. She also needs to make a concentration check on the beacon.
Okay, go ahead. And you also do have one more melee attack left you could make against a creature if you chose.
Okay. Well, let's see if she maintains concentration on the.
Okay.
So, plus her constitution score, so that's 19.
19. That definitely holds the beacon of hope up.
And then Yash will make another melee attack against it.
Awesome. Good deal, buddy.
Okay. That's 19.
19 misses.
Okay.
Okay. And now with that swing going wide, as you're focusing on keeping concentration on the spell, which makes you lose a little bit of your focus on that, the next person to go is going to be one of the happy little bad guys. It's going to be number 5. No. Hold on. That's not right. Let me do this again here. He's number 5. Let's go ahead and move this one over here. Let's move it. Okay, it's not going to be that one's turn. It is going to be, so that was Tamara was 12. 13 is out. So who's number 14? 14 is going to be Oma. Okay, so Oma is inside of this thing. She's stunned because she failed that last time. So Oma is stunned for this turn and takes no action. As inside there, Aeolus is trying to yell at her and get her to snap out of it. As he's having to focus on the ship, I'm going to give him a roll of disadvantage because he's focused to see if he's able to get her snapped out of it and trying to get her to at least be ready to focus on her next turn. No, 2 very bad rolls. Oma is still grayed over and seems to have some kind of curse has befallen her as she is still holding herself and breathing heavily. Let me write down here, stunned, cursed. Okay, that is Oma's turn, and then we're going on to number 15, which is this guy down here off the side of the ship. Okay, so with that, he is going to see that these things are flying down over top of the shell and trying to attack it and whatnot. One of them is still charmed. He is going to go after Dahan, which is manning the ballista and has his back to him. Okay? So
Which one is?
This one down here. This is number 6, coming off the side of the ship.
Oh,
He
crap.
was down underneath the ship and he's soaring up. He's coming from another angle. Okay?
Okay.
So, as the creature ascends and flies down over top of you, I need you to do a wisdom saving throw as the shadowy, whatever you want to call them, creep up and overwhelm you once again. Tell me what your roll is, Danny.
17.
17. Okay, you just failed that, sir. And here's
I will use Indomitable and re-roll.
I would. This would be a good time to do it, man. Go ahead and re-roll it, boss. What'd you get?
That would be a 28.
That succeeds. So you only take 6 points of necrotic damage. As once again, these females, and this time they're actually, you hear, like before they had that backwards voice to them, where you had it, but now it sounds more sinister. Now you're starting to hear words come out of them. You're hearing full phrases coming out of them, as if, because you almost failed that saving throw, and you're getting to understand what Oma's going through. Just for the hell of it, roll a perception check for him to see if you've noticed that Oma was taken over by this inside of the shell.
12 total.
You do not. You're too busy with the ballista and everything else. But these things are now reaching out and getting more desperate and getting more ferocious, as their faces seem to have new twisted, contorted evilness within them. These female wraiths that seem to swim within these shadows that have befallen you. Once the shadows are over top of you, the creature is going to dive down. It's going to do 2 talon attacks and see if it can pick you up, and it's going to throw you off the ship. Now I want everyone to notice that we are moving at a decent amount of speed while this is all going on. So they're flapping to try to keep their composure. So when they're moving against the natural speed of this, they normally have a flying speed of like 60 foot. I'm reducing it so they can stay with the ship. So we are still moving and banking inwards. Okay?
I have a question.
Yes.
How would that affect their 0 movement for number 4? And
I'm going to do a dex check here in a minute and see. Because he's 0 movement and charmed. We're going to check it in just a minute. Okay?
Well, he's tied to Brahmus.
Yeah, I guess that one is tied to Brahmus, isn't it, still?
Yep.
The one
The
that
other
she
one's
charmed.
just laying on that shield, so it's kind of braced onto the ship.
Right. Okay. The one attack hit you, Danny, but it did not breach you. The other one did not hit you. Okay?
I have a 23 primary. How much did it miss by?
3.
I'm going to go ahead and add that and do a punishing counter strike.
Good job, buddy. Good job. Now that's on the first one. So if this punishing counterstrike has a certain effect on it, you may be able to wave off the second one, just depending, okay? Just so you know for theatrics.
All right, because you can do other things with a punishing counter strike, I am going to do a, as it's coming in,
Yeah.
he's going to do a leaping strike.
So you guys know, counter-strike is when you get to use your reaction to counter-strike someone that attacks you and misses, and you get to add how much they missed you by as a bonus to your counter-strike. When you have punishing counter-strike, you can use more advanced features other than just an attack back or a shit like that. You can start to do action spells, you can do martial arts moves, you can do divine smites and shit like that with a punishing counter-strike. So it's really good to have that.
Or actually, this thing's coming down at him, right?
It's coming
With
down
both?
to grab at you, yeah.
Yeah, he's just going to step between them and give it an elbow right in the belly between them.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right, so that would be a, with his plus 3s, 27.
27 hits and breaches the creature. Go ahead and roll your damage.
6 and the elbow. 74.
How much you got, boss?
7 plus 5, 12 points of damage.
Nice hit. Okay, is if you find a soft spot on that underbelly of this creature as you jump up with that rising elbow, that is your reaction to that. I'm going to put a minus to the next attack, and it still would have hit and breached. It was an awesome roll. Okay. The second one, the talons dig in deep to your shoulder, sneaking around the neck and getting underneath of the behemoth's mantle, which is that onyx-like hoof material that you have on your shoulder plate, and it finds a grip on you. You find it here. Ooh! Ooh! 15 points of piercing damage. Okay?
Okay, and what was its strike to get that? Strike roll?
35.
Good strike.
It used Blood Hunter. Well, it's not Blood Hunter. It's called Bloodlust. It's almost like a weapon specialist move for creatures with humanoids. These things, I'll show you the Legend of Ulran later so you can understand what's going on. But if you're human and stuff like that, these things hate you. They want your blood.
As a reaction,
you
when
already used your reaction for the punishing counterstrike.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, never mind. That's not a reaction anyway.
Yeah. Oh, what was it you were going to do?
As Lonnie Blood Oath, because I'm bleeding now.
Okay.
I think it's
and
a bonus.
What is it to invoke that?
It's a bonus action.
Okay. Have you used your bonus yet?
No.
Not until your turn. Okay.
Right.
All right. So, with that, the creature's going to do a strength check to see if it can pick you up off of the ship. Okay. Now here's the issue with that. I'm going to give you a little bit of a chance on this. Okay. You were working the ballista, and you were doing some things. Now you let off the ballista, so you could jump up and do this counterstrike to it. Okay. So as you hit it and did that, then the talons come down and grabs you, so you're not really anchored to the ballista any longer. Okay? You weren't a hold of it. If you were still loading a bolt and it would have came down and grabbed you, I could have said maybe you were trying to hold on, and it would have been a strength versus strength. But this thing just has to be able to pick your weight up. Okay? So I'm going to roll a strength check to see how well it does with that. Okay, 18 total. So with this thing being damn near a large creature, and you are a massive person, it would have had to have at least got a 15 to be able to lift your girth up off the ship, Danny. But it has done so. Okay? So, as it has done its talon attack is able to grab you with the other one. It used almost all of its movement to get you in that position. It is going to have you up off the deck, but it doesn't have any more movement left. So the next time its turn comes around, or whatever happens here, you guys are going to go flying. Alright? Because I would have loved to...
I'll be right back, Brian.
Okay. I would have loved just to flung you. But it took all of its movement to fly up from the underbelly of the ship. It was all the way down here.
Mm-hmm.
It took all of its movement to do that and then pick you up, but it's not going to have enough of its action left to throw you yet. You're very lucky. I'm not trying to be pandering to you. It's the truth, because I want to throw you, but in fairness, I can't right now. Okay. We go ahead and do this. Okay. It is now Dauntus's turn, and then we're going to start up the beginning of the next turn. So, with Dauntus, let's go ahead and get him over to the cannon. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Pretty nice. Okay. Go ahead and move this here. Okay, at that point I'm going to say that he yells back and he pushes off a dray at him and says, "I've got it, just keep him off me." And as he does, he just sprints and he's just kind of elbow fast running, high heels and shit, just getting it. He gets over there to the cannon. he's probably going to want to turn that sucker and shoot at that big bad there. Let's go ahead and roll for his interaction. Danny, I'm going to let you take care of that. Roll me investigation for him, a 1d20 and a 1d10, and tell me what you get.
25.
25. That's really awesome, dude. As he gets there, he is able to turn the arcane cannon and shoot at the rear of the big bad. Now, do you have any notes written down as to what the arcane cannon does? This is the...
Yes. Thunder wave at 5th level.
Okay, so for the hell of it, just for fun here, Alex, do you have the ability to tell me what a thunder wave at 5th level does?
Yeah. 1 second, I'll pull it up.
I'll let you have a little bit of fun here because you had your little moment there and you haven't got to do much ever since then. So go ahead and tell me how this works.
There's actually 3 options of what it can do, but I think we'll go with Thunder Wave.
Well, let's just for the hell of it, let's give her the choice. It does Thunder Wave. What's the other two, Danny?
Regular Harpoon, which is Lightning Bolt, in addition to it at 5th level. And then it has a short range blast that's 4 projectiles of Eldritch Blast, but lightning damage.
Okay, so of those 3, you have like a Lightning Bolt, you have like an Eldritch Blast where it does like a shrapnel kind of thing, 4 different ones, or it knocks and does a Thunder Wave where it does one big knock of damage but pushes shit back 15 foot away. Of those 3 options, what would you like to do as Dantus? The little Mohawk dwarf here is getting ready to shoot this bad boy. What are you thinking?
You said there was one with fire or lightning damage.
They're all thunder and lightning based, yes.
Probably
One's a lightning bolt spell, one is a Eldritch Blast of 4 attacks, and one is a 5th level Thunder Wave.
let's see. Can you move the map back a little bit? Which direction? He probably wouldn't push the shadow towards anybody. So he'd probably do one of the Eldritch Blast.
Okay, awesome. Danny, do you want to walk her through that and say what the damage is and what she needs to roll?
Well, it's a he has a +10 to hit, and he has an advantage on all damage rolls if Dantus is operating.
That's awesome.
And then anytime you fire the cannon, you got to make a 1d4, and it goes against its breakdown points before it has to be cleaned.
Okay, so go ahead and roll 1d4.
All right. Let's see. A 3.
Okay. So there's
So
7
note that
points left.
down. So Danny, you got that, buddy?
Yep.
Okay, so that's 3 breakdown points of the cannon. You have a 10 bonus to your attack, and you roll 1d20 plus 10, and we'll see if you're able to hit this creature with the cannon.
15
15.
total.
Okay, 15 hits, but it does not breach. Okay, because there's something I'm taking in consideration here, that this creature cannot block or dodge hardly much of the spell. So the first one is a 15. There's 3 more Eldritch Blasts for you to go through.
All right.
Do 3 more.
17.
Hits but doesn't breach.
27.
Breaches.
19.
Hits but doesn't breach. So you got 3 that regularly hit, and 1 that goes straight through it and does damage to it. What's the damage of each one of the Eldritch Blasts, Danny?
Doesn't say. It just says 4 projectiles, Eldritch Blast, but
Okay.
lightning.
I'll
So
look it up here. I think
usually-
they're 1d.
I believe it's a 1d10.
Okay, yep. So roll 1d10 and a 1d4 for each one. They all get a little bit of a bonus to them.
All right.
And you get advantage on all those damage rolls.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
Yeah. So you can go ahead and roll that for all 4, and then tell me what the total is of just the last one. Do the breaching one first. I'll take it directly off, then we'll do the other 3 after that. Okay.
Okay. Is it advantage to the D4s as well?
Absolutely.
All damage or?
Yep.
Okay.
And that's just a bonus for him being the engineer of this. He gets a bonus because he can operate it better than most people.
First one's an 8.
Nice.
Second one's a 10.
Okay.
12.
Okay.
7.
Okay. All right. So the one that breached it, you see a pretty good streak of blood shoot out of the side of it as it goes clean through. Entrance and exit wound. The other ones seem to hit and get lodged in the feathers and do it damage, but nothing as significant as that first hit that it took. I would like for you to roll a perception check for me, Dantis.
14.
You can't quite make anything out from there. Sometimes when you pepper something in a particular area, you can start to create a weak spot in its defenses.
Does he have any bonuses or no?
Oh, okay, yeah, definitely. Roll add a 1d8 to that.
15. There's that one.
Not quite. Yeah, there's that one, literally. There's Uno. Got it rocking. So, you're looking for a weak spot that you've created by hitting it multiple times the same spot, but it's not quite there. You can't quite visualize it. Okay?
Alright.
With that, that's going to go ahead and end Dantis' turn. And now it's going to be the start of our turn again. Let's go ahead and say this, Danny. At the beginning of the turn, all of a sudden something comes into view. Okay? Let me remember which one this was again. This was a number 2, correct? Okay, yeah. Okay, as the black hole opens back up again, you see this Peryton right here. As it falls dead out of that black hole that opens up in the sky. Alright? Just 1 minute, let me do a little bit of an effect here. Just a second, bear with me. Okay. As the Peryton falls out, it seems to be slain. As it falls out of the screenshot and falls down into the force below. But a second image seems to come out. And it's Bast. And as Bast falls out onto the deck of the ship, it lands just on the edge, just barely able to hold on to the railing. He seems bloodied, like he has just been through a hellacious fight with something as he lands prone on the deck of the ship. Okay? Danny, you know everything that just happened and the battle that you just went through with this creature. And barely able to hang on to the creature, running into kind of the same shit that Jeremy did. You find yourself beaten down, you are Blade, at half hit points. I think it was a little less than that, I can't remember the exact total. And you find yourself laying prone, holding onto the side railing of this ship. Okay? What would you like to do on your turn?
Stands up and looks around first to see what's going on.
Okay.
What he can take in at a glance.
And you are dazed at this point, so I just want you to do a perception check of disadvantage for me.
Well, 19.
Okay. You see that Medelia is holding protection. That some more of these birds have seemed to have dissipated, and you are right in the thick of battle. Whereas you thought maybe you had a break as you had that falling sensation, your heart just picks back up again, barely able to take a gasp of breath. And with that, I will give you a free action. But I'm going to say, as dazed as you are from that, it's not going to be his go quite yet. I'll just give you a free action, or half your movement.
Half my movement. Let me see. Can't get there. Can't get. So all I notice is the one over them.
Yes. You don't notice the big bat on the other side of the ship.
He'll just take his free action to summon his daggers and crouch.
Okay, so you are in a crouched position, you are still prone, and you have your daggers. We will be moving forward now to Drayden. Okay, I will go through this quickly, and then we'll go to number 3. Number 3, I believe, is going to be another Peryton. Then number 4 is a Peryton. Then number 5 is going to be Silouan. And then number 6
I think you're
is
skipping
going to
Brahmus.
be... What's that?
I think you're skipping over Brahmus.
Milakir, okay. Let me see. I did 1 here. So number 1, we got Drayden. Number 2, yep, I got you. Okay. So it's going to be Drayden, then Merc. Okay. Let's go ahead and say that this creature is, I'm trying to decide, it was down here and it's fighting at Silouan. Valder's got it. Tamara's trying to fight it. It's in the middle. It's in a cluster right now. I'm going to try to gang up on it. 5, 10, 15. I am going to do the Dragon's Tail martial arts uppercut. And being a Felidae, I can jump damn near 20 foot up in the air. So as he performs this, he's going to jump up into the air at this thing, and he comes up with a upwards claw strike like this. And as he does, he'll hit with the claws to do a rising elbow that hits after that. As he does, he's turning his body sideways, almost like a diver would. And a back uppercut with the other hand represents the dragon's tail that smashes buildings as it flies over. So he's jumping up and doing a full side rotational spin. Let's see how he performs this. 13 plus 7, and that hits and breaches with a 27. So with the first attack, it hits. I have advantage on the elbow, which also hits. And now I have the dragon's tail, the third part of this, as the move. And that's a natural 20. That's fucking awesome. Alright, let me roll some effects here and I'll tell you guys what you see. Okay. Okay. And... nope, that's not going to work. Okay. I would have been able to daze the creature with this move, but it used its second legendary action for its turn and did legendary resistance and is not dazed by my attack because I like to screw myself over. But it does do quite a bit of damage to the creature. Yep. You up. So between all 3 of the moves, the creature takes 37 points of slashing damage. Okay, and was going to be knocked dazed, but was able to resist it as Drayden lands back on the deck of the ship down below it. Landing in the shadow, I need to do a wisdom saving throw. 14. Sean, roll me a DC.
With
Roll me a
advantage.
20 and a 1d10 and tell me what the DC is of this. And I get advantage, thank you. Okay, I'll keep the first one. I rolled a 1 on my second roll. Damn it! That's going to be 20.
The DC is 10.
I pass. Good deal. I'm going to have you roll DCs more often, buddy. I like that shit. He's able to pass, and he would only be taking 3 points of necrotic damage from being in the section at all. Okay. So now, Brahmus, buddy. What's it looking like over there, bud?
Alright, so the one I'm holding on to is charmed.
It is.
I'm sure I heard Miasha holler that out.
You did?
Okay. How is the one laying on the dome looking?
rough. That's all I got to say.
How tall is the dome?
The dome is going to be.
Basically, I'm trying to figure out if Brahmus could walk over there and put a hand on this thing without having to climb it.
You could probably put a hand on its wing as it's flapped over, kind of causing like a blind laying over top of this thing. You could do that, yes.
All right. And do I get the idea that the people that are under that shell could get out, but nothing could come in? That's basically the function of it. Okay. That would be a 12.
Not sure.
Okay. Would you consider an action or a bonus action to untie myself from the rope?
I'll tell you in a minute. That's an action, sir. You really wrapped it up good. You know, that's going to be an action to undo the rope, buddy.
All right. So I am going to.
Hey, but you can reach the bird. I mean, it's a kind of a win. I mean, shit.
So that's what I'll do. Since it's charmed, I'm going to unattach myself from it.
That's your action. You have all your movement, your bonus, and your reaction so far. Go ahead. You also have. Do you have steadfast assault?
Yeah.
From there. Okay, you can reach an arm from there. You can reach a wing from there without having to move. And if you use steadfast assault, I would give you one extra attack action or one small piece of an action, like an attack or something.
I would say if I could reach it without detaching from the rope, I probably will.
Yes, roll me a strength check. I'm going to have you pull a little bit.
All right. Before I do that, I'm going to do bonus action for overdrive, the somatic boost, or which one is that? It's one that, yeah, somatic boost, the one that boosts my strength.
Nice. Explain to people what it looks like.
You're going to see not steam, but basically like a magic steam. It's going to look like arcane particles just kind of flashing out of the joints in his armor, and you're going to hear almost kind of a whirring as you see him kind of bulk up just a little bit. And I wound up getting that as a +5 because I used my 1d6 instead of a 1d4.
That's awesome, buddy. That's awesome.
That puts
so you
my
really
strength
put yourself
at 20.
through it.
It puts my strength at 25, which gives me +7 instead of +5.
Yeah, it sure does, man. That's
So,
awesome. I love when that shit works. Roll that strength check. Tell me how you're doing.
that would be 22.
You are able to pull that creature over easily as it is kind of drifting in the air connected to you. There's no new contact or anything to shake it out of that stun, so I'm going to leave it stunned because it's not like you're yanking the shit out of it. You're just pulling against the weight of it as it would have already flown off here. It's almost like a dog pulling on a color, and you're able to get the wing of the other one in the other arm. Okay, so you are Hercules in between these two right now. Captain America on the helicopter.
Right.
You know, you're just kind of doing your shit. What's next, buddy?
All right. Did you say I could do an attack, or could I cast a spell?
With that hand.
Well, I
bound,
didn't use my action to detach. So.
Yeah, with that hand bound, and this hand holding on to the bird, I'll let you do a spell. I don't think you could do any kind of attack unless you did like an Eldritch Blast, like some of your shit from your chest. If you can describe it to me in a way that doesn't take your hands, and I'm impressed by it, I'll let you pull it off.
Inflict wounds, which is
through
a
the
touch
hand
spell.
grab.
Yep.
Through the hand grab. Absolutely, you can do that.
And he is going to cast that at 3rd level.
Which one? The one that's charmed, or the one that's laying on top of
the one that's laying on top of the dome?
Hell yeah, okay. And is there anything I need to do, or is that just an instantaneous thing since you have a
Let me
hold?
look. No, I just got to make a melee spell attack.
Okay, go ahead and do that, please. And I'm going to say that's you trying to grab it with the other arm.
That's 22.
A 22 works. A 22 is able to get a hold of the creature. Go ahead and do your damage, and make sure you take off your magic points, okay?
That would be 26 damage altogether.
Fuck, dude, that's number 3, right?
Yep.
You said 26?
Yep, 26 damage.
Bam. Okay, that searing kind of energy, I don't know what that really looks like from you. But
And inflict wounds is necrotic. So
okay.
I would say he pulls from a little bit of what he has dealt with in the last little bit.
The pain of the Inheriar, yeah.
Yeah, and you're going to see the visor kind of like darken
Nice.
as you see this wave of shade just kind of come through his arm and into the wing of this thing.
That's awesome. Well, let's say it looks like several different fallen warriors from the battlefield.
I can deal with that.
Because that's what you're around with as an Inheriar all the time. I like it, buddy. Okay, with that, it's taken the damage as it screams out in pain once again. What else are you doing on your turn, boss?
That's been my action, my bonus action, and that's all the movement I'm going to do. So.
Okay, we're gonna chill with you right there. It is 9:57. Do you guys wish to continue on for just a little bit more, or do you want to call this next Sunday?
I'm good calling it.
Yeah, I was gonna call it.
Okay. So let me go ahead and write down that Merc just went on turn 2. And Drayden did. Okay. So with that, let me go ahead and minimize the screen. We'll have our little goodbyes here, and then we'll be done with the video. Just 1 second, okay? Let's do that. Stop share. Okay. So a lot happens in 30 seconds or so, doesn't it? That time that Danny's character was gone, sucked in through that chrono jolt spell that he cast, we played that out last week. It was interesting. It was a damn merry-go-round of some crazy shit that went down. But Danny was able, obviously, to take the creature down, and it got some good hits on him as well, as he looks in rough shape. So we're narrowing down the order, so this is going to speed up more and more as we go. We have 2 of these things that have perished. We've got a whole bunch of different things in consideration. Does anyone have any questions about something they may want to try next week, or about the things that's happened so far?
How did that inflict wounds make that one look?
Make it look? It actually hadn't taken all that much damage. It's starting to look a little bit ruffled, but it's not bloodied yet, no. But that's the one that, like, that one in number 6, which is the one that came up and dove up at Dahan from the southern part of the ship, are looking not.
I dropped the ball. He was prone on that, so you should have had advantage on everything.
Which one? Oh, he did. He did.
Okay.
When it was laying on that thing, yeah. And it's a neat, like I said, Captain America thing. That's nice, dude.
Oh yeah, you're right. I would have had advantage on that melee or that spell attack too.
Yeah, which you got it. I mean, you did. And if it tries to break free of your grasp, I know that you had a 20. What was it? A 22 or 23?
Yeah, it was a 22.
Write that down as a note on your character. So if it tries to escape that later, we've already got the DC for that. Okay. So Miasha, when it's your turn coming up, and you've only got that concentration on one more that's still charmed, what are you thinking? What's your plan?
It's gonna see perception, trying to find out what looks like the biggest threat in the area.
Okay.
And try to get rid of that.
Yeah, and you guys have been putting good size hits on that big one on the very end, the Blood Reaper. So definitely. Well, without anything else there, I think we've concluded. You guys have a good one. Thanks for hanging in. It's a good fight. It's a lot of shit to go through, but we're almost through it. So once again, I'm Brian Kynes. Thanks again for watching, and we'll try to finish this up next Sunday. Take care, everybody.